What is up, all of my horror fanatics out there? Welcome back to Late Night Frights. I'm the Late Night Frights horror leader, the J. Sloan or Jordan, back here to do another video for you. And as always, guys, I want to thank everyone for tuning in this evening. Last week we did horror battles, so obviously this week we are doing a theme. But before I dive into this video and announce the theme that we're going to be doing, I just want to say last week was a very solid week. We had 3 new pre-members, which I hope everybody saw their videos. And we've got a lot of new exciting stuff coming for Late Night Frights, which will be announced soon. A lot of different things I don't want to talk about now, but I just want to say we do have a bunch of pre-members starting, and I hope everyone enjoyed their videos. I was very happy with the content that was released last week, and all the pre-members did a great job. So, yeah, just wanted to announce that and say that we've got a lot of new things coming up, and there might be a separate video in itself for that when the time comes, so just stay tuned for that. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and dive into this video. Okay, so this week's theme is our supernatural theme, and the film that I chose to review is one of my personal favorites, and it is Poltergeist.
They're here.
Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to dive into the review. So Poltergeist was made in 1982, it was directed by Tobe Hooper, and it was also co-written and produced by Steven Spielberg. This film stars Craig T. Nelson, Jo Beth Williams, Dominique Dune, Oliver Robbins, and Heather O'Rourke. Now, basically, this one follows a young family, your average, basic, standard family, husband, wife, 2 daughters, and a son, just trying to get by. But very quickly in the film, it escalates. Within the first 30 minutes, we see stuff start happening in their home. Very weird and very questionable things. I mean, their kitchen is just like completely turned upside down. All the chairs are moved. They can actually sit something in the middle of the floor in the kitchen in a certain section, and it will move by itself across the floor. And they also see their youngest daughter, Carol Ann, start talking to people or start talking to things in their house, most specifically their TV, and she actually talks to the static on it. And they very soon realize that there's something not right with their house after all these things go down. Me personally, if one of those things happened, if I sat something in the middle of my living room and it moved by itself, I'm not going to be in that place very long. I'm going to be long gone. But they stay for a while, and that is one of the consequences that they have. They realize that their house is actually haunted with ghosts and a specific demon, and it actually takes their youngest daughter, Carol Ann, who was played amazingly by Heather O'Rourke. She passed away, I believe, after the 3rd one was made. She was a young girl, and to be that young, she did an amazing job in all 3 films she was in. So, but their daughter is taken, so they need to find out what happened and who took their daughter, what kind of dimension or what kind of thing they're dealing with. Are they dealing with ghosts, demons? What exactly is it that is wrong with their house, and why do they want their young, sweet little daughter, Carol Ann? So all that is explained down the line. There are some, I'm not exactly sure what they're called, not demonologists, paranologists, I think possibly could be what they're called. Don't quote me on that, I'm not sure. But they come in the house and they try to figure out what's going on. And just the acting in this is just amazing, and the directing by Tobe Hooper does an amazing job. They soon realize that Carol Ann has this specific force that she lets out to these demons and ghosts, and they think that she can drag them or deliver them to the lights. And I don't want to say anything else about the plot because I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it. And if you haven't seen it, what are you doing? You need to check it out immediately. It is such a classic film. There are scenes in this film that still gives me chills and just crazy, just still doesn't really terrify me, but kind of freaks me out to this day. And one of the scenes is actually this one you're about to see. That is such a classic scene there with the guy ripping the flesh off of his face. I mean, that scared the shit out of me when I was a kid, but looking back on it now, I can really appreciate the scene. I think it is so visually well done, and the practical effects are badass. But I can honestly say, if I was in that guy's shoes and I saw myself ripping my own flesh off, I would be scarred for life. That would scare the shit out of me. I would have to leave that house and never return. That would definitely be a scary thing. But that's another good thing about Poltergeist is I can watch this film to this day, and there are so many scenes that still give me chills, and not a lot of films do that. And a lot of that is due to the nostalgia factor and how much I watched this as a kid and how scared I was of it. But still to this day, I mean, it's just an amazing film. The acting is so well done. I mean, Craig T. Nelson did an amazing job. Jo Beth Williams, I loved her in this film. I mean, Wayne Carolan is gone, and she is trying to find out what happened to her daughter and, what kind of entity took her daughter and how she can get her back. I feel how desperate she is in this, and, when she's crying and when she's sad, trying to talk to Caroline through the TV, that was a sad scene, and that was emotional to see her like that, and you could definitely feel her pain of where she's coming from and how desperate she actually is. And, I mean, just an amazing job. Heather O'Rourke, I know I said this once again, or I've said this once before, I'm sorry. I said this once before, but she did an amazing job to be that young. I mean, just how she did everything. And she was very creepy, too. I mean, obviously, she wasn't the one who was supposed to be, everyone was supposed to be afraid of, but she did a very, very creepy job, just the way she acted, and they're here, and, all that, the lines that she had. But she did an amazing job to be that young. And, obviously, Tobe Hooper directing the film, he does an amazing job always, and he's an amazing director. The film feels very crisp, and I don't want to say fancy, but you can definitely tell it had a high budget. Of course, if it's got Tobe Hooper, and if it's got Steven Spielberg's hands on it, it's going to be a high-budget film. And so the effects still hold up to this day, I feel, like a lot of them do. Some of them are a little bit cheesy, but like ripping the flesh off of the face, that effect was awesome. And I really don't know what else to say about this film, guys, other than I love it. I always have. It's such a classic film. And if you haven't seen it, guys, you need to do yourself a favor and check it out. If you are a fan of supernatural or paranormal films, this is one of the best, in the top 5 best ones, I think, of all time. One you should definitely check out. If you haven't seen it, do it. Check it out. So there's my review over Poltergeist. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in this evening. Thank you so much for watching my review. What do you think of Poltergeist? Comment in the comment box down below and let me know. I want to hear what everyone's opinions are on this film. I know some people may not like it, but I would love to hear who likes it and who does not like it. So, once again, thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned. All throughout the week, everyone will be reviewing a paranormal film or a supernatural film of their choice. I'm the Jay Sloan. You just watched Late Night Frights. Comment, subscribe, and as always, guys, keep it horror. Peace.